What if everything you've ever believed to be solid, stable, and outside of you was never truly real? What if reality wasn't something you look at, but something that flows through you? This isn't just a mystical concept, it's what the frontier of quantum physics has been whispering all along. The material world, your body, your home, the very ground beneath your feet, isn't built from solid stuff. It's built from vibration, waves, energy dancing in infinite patterns, responding not to your wishes, but to your frequency. At the deepest level, what we call matter is 99.999% empty space. But that space, it's not empty. It holds pure potential, a shimmering field of possibility waiting for your consciousness to give it form. And that's the key. Reality isn't waiting to show you something. It's waiting to mirror who you're being. Most of us were taught backwards. We were taught to wait for proof before we feel secure, to wait for money before feeling abundant, for love before feeling worthy. But that's the illusion of the third dimension, the illusion of separation. In truth, life doesn't happen to you. It happens through you. You are not walking through a pre-written script. You are scripting reality in real time, with every emotion, every belief, every silent expectation. Quantum physicist Max Planck, the father of quantum theory, he once said, "All matter originates and exists only by virtue of a force, and we must assume behind this force the existence of a conscious, intelligent mind. That mind, that force, isn't separate from you. It is you. You are not merely an observer of life. You are a transmitter, a frequency generator. Every emotion is a broadcast. Every belief is a signal. And the quantum field, this infinite sea of unseen intelligence, responds not to what you say you want, but to what you feel as real. If you visualize abundance while vibrating fear, the field responds to the fear. If you speak affirmations of love while holding doubt, the mirror reflects the doubt. The universe isn't judging you, it's matching you, instantly, neutrally, unfailingly. This is where the shift begins. You weren't born to beg the universe for scraps. You were born to remember. You are the frequency. You are the origin. You are the field, creating from within. Think back to moments in your life when everything just clicked, when events flowed effortlessly, when the right person called, when the doors opened without you pushing. That wasn't luck. That was coherence, alignment. You weren't chasing reality. You were radiating it. And the same is true in reverse. When nothing works, when resistance builds, when every path feels blocked, it's not about how hard you're trying, it's about the energy you're carrying. That's the unsettling truth, but also the most liberating one. Your current reality is not random, it's resonance. Your current life is a perfect vibrational echo of the frequency you've been sending out, whether you knew it or not. And here's the most revolutionary part. You don't have to fight what is. You don't have to battle your reality into submission. You only have to shift your signal. So let's pause, let's go deeper. Not into what you say you want, not what you're trying to manifest, but into what you're actually transmitting. What frequency are you breathing as truth? Because it's not your words, not your vision board, not your hopes that shape the field. It's your state of being. When your inner frequency changes, the outer reflection must change. This is not magic. This is resonance. This is alignment. Quantum manifestation is not about wishing. It's about coherence, about becoming the very signal of what you once chased. And here lies the paradox. The moment you become the vibration of already having, you no longer need it. You're no longer grasping, you're living the energy of it. And that's when reality surrenders. That's when it flows. Because the quantum field isn't responding to your potential. It's responding to your presence, not what you might become, but who you are now. So let's go further. Let's talk about the great mirror. The universe is not sending you tests. It's not punishing or blessing. It's reflecting, faithfully, precisely, always. Your reality is a feedback loop, not of your affirmations, but of your embodiment. You can only receive what you truly are. And that's where most people get stuck. They think, they speak, they ask, but beneath the surface, their body is radiating doubt, lack, unworthiness. And the field, it mirrors that, not out of cruelty, but out of exactness. Imagine standing in front of a perfect mirror. You smile, the reflection smiles. You frown, the reflection frowns. The mirror doesn't lie. It doesn't interpret your intention. It doesn't care what you meant to feel. It simply reflects what is. That's the quantum field. Unbiased, unfiltered, unfailingly responsive to coherence. It doesn't reward the worthy. It doesn't punish the flawed. It responds to the frequency, only the frequency. So if your inner world is saturated with fear, guilt, scarcity, or resistance, that's what will ripple through the field and return to you, not to hurt you, but to awaken you, to show you what you're holding so you can choose again. Because the field is always listening, not to your words, but to your vibration. And once you understand this mirror, once you learn to shift the signal, everything begins to reflect a new image. Not from effort, but from embodiment. Not from control, but from coherence. You must become aware of the frequency you've been unconsciously broadcasting. Because this is the real reason your manifestations feel blocked. The block isn't out there. It's not the universe saying no. It's the energetic static between what you desire and what you actually radiate. It's asking for love, while vibrating the fear of being abandoned. It's visualizing wealth, while carrying the deep wound of unworthiness. This is the silent conflict between your mind's image and your body's truth. And until that mismatch is resolved, the field cannot reflect what you seek. It can only reflect what you are. But science is finally catching up to what mystics have always known. The HeartMath Institute discovered this. Your heart emits the strongest electromagnetic field of the human body. It radiates several feet beyond you. It's not just pumping blood, it's broadcasting vibration. This field communicates with your brain, your cells, your surroundings, and yes, with the quantum field itself. Dr. Joe Dispenza's research affirms it. When your thoughts and feelings are in coherence, when the mind and heart are unified in one elevated emotion, the field responds, always. But coherence cannot be faked. You can say, I'm abundant, and still vibrate anxiety about rent. You can speak love while still transmitting the ache of rejection. The quantum field doesn't react to your words. It tunes into your signal, your energetic essence. This is why healing is not just emotional. It's vibrational. Every fragment of guilt, shame, fear, or trauma scrambles your broadcast, and scrambled frequency leads to scattered results. But when you begin to still the noise, to clear the emotional static, your signal strengthens, your field becomes coherent, and the mirror starts to change. Let's bring this home. What have you been seeing in your life? What patterns repeat? What cycles feel stuck? These are not coincidences. They are mirrors. Until you change the frequency behind them, they will persist, not as punishment, but as curriculum. You are not being ignored by the universe. You are being responded to with stunning accuracy. The mystic said, as within, so without. Quantum science calls it entanglement, wave collapse, resonance. But it's all pointing to one truth. Your inner world builds your outer world. So ask yourself, truthfully, what are you really emitting right now? Not what you want to feel, not what you're pretending to believe, but what you are truly vibrating into the space around you. Because the emotion you return to most, that becomes your baseline frequency. And that frequency becomes your magnet. It's the command. And the quantum field listens. You don't need to fix the reflection. You don't need to beg the universe for change. You need to become the one who vibrates a different image from the inside out. Because this infinite intelligent field is not returning what you wish to be. It is returning what you are. And that changes everything. In the next section, we'll explore how to consciously shift that signal to become a living, breathing instruction to the quantum field. Because the truth is this, your vibration is your instruction. Reality doesn't shift because you want it to. It shifts because you become the version of you who already lives it. You don't have to ask the universe to listen. It's already listening. It never stopped. Every moment, you are sending out a silent signal, a vibrational command. And the field, it's translating that signal into form, not based on your affirmations, not based on your vision board, but based on your state of being. Here's the radical shift. Your vibration is not a side effect of your life. It's the blueprint of it. Bob Proctor once said, "You don't get what you want, you get what you are." Let that settle, because in this moment, you are either shaping your life through coherence or confusion. We are vibrational beings, living in a vibrational universe. This isn't poetic metaphor. This is physics. This is alignment. And this is your power. This is not metaphor. It's physics. Everything that exists carries a frequency. Your thoughts, electric signals of intention, your emotions, magnetic pulses of attraction, your body, a living symphony of vibrations resonating into space, into matter, into form. And here's the key most miss. The dominant frequency you emit becomes the mold through which your life takes shape. The quantum field is the canvas. Your vibration is the brush. But most people, they're painting over a picture they haven't changed at the core. They visualize abundance while vibrating lack. They repeat affirmations of love while feeling deeply unworthy. And what results is confusion, mixed signals, blurry manifestations, endless cycles that seem to repeat no matter how hard they try. But now the science meets the soul. Dr. Joe Dispenza revealed it. Your thoughts are the electrical charge in the field. Your emotions, the magnetic. Together they create your electromagnetic signature. And the field listens. Change that signal, and the field reorganizes itself around you. Abraham Hicks said it clearly. You cannot not offer a vibration, even in silence, even in doubt. Even when you say nothing, you're still creating. You are a transmitter. Always. So the real question becomes, how do you shift the command? Not by hoping, not by begging, not even by mindlessly repeating I am statements. The shift happens when you begin to embody a new frequency, when you start thinking the thoughts of your future self, feeling their emotions, walking as them, speaking as them, breathing as them. The field has no choice but to respond, because this isn't magic, it's resonance. Like two tuning forks across a room. Strike one, and the other, tuned to the same frequency, begins to hum in harmony. Not because it was forced, but because it recognized its match. The universe is the same. You don't chase your desires, you match them, and when that match is clean, the manifestation becomes inevitable. But here's what you must remember. You're already creating, right now, this very moment. The only question is, are you doing it consciously? Because your vibration speaks. In the thoughts you whisper to yourself, in the way you walk into a room, in the energy you radiate when no one's watching, in the feelings you allow or suppress. And most people, they wait. They wait for the world to shift first. They wait for proof, for signs, for the new job, the lover, the money, so then they can feel different. So then they can think new thoughts. But in the quantum model, it doesn't work that way. It's reversed. You shift your inner world first. You think different first. You feel it into being. You embody the version of you who already lives the vision before you see a shred of it. And then reality responds. Then the field collapses into form to meet your frequency, to echo your coherence, to mirror your state of being. Because your vibration is not a reaction, it's a command. And every moment, you are transmitting it. The moment you become conscious of it, you reclaim your creative power. So let's get real. Let's get practical. What's your baseline frequency? Not the one you post online, the one that hums beneath your breath. Is it rush, stress, doubt? Or is it calm, clarity, trust? because one of those is already writing your next chapter. Bob Proctor said it best. The law of vibration is primary. The law of attraction is secondary, which means nothing responds until your thoughts and emotions begin to harmonize. Not in theory, in frequency. So here's your invitation to stop reacting and start broadcasting. Right now, take a breath and tune in. What are you vibrating? Because that is your command. That's what the field is arranging around you in real time. And here's the most empowering truth of all. You can change it. You can choose again. You can shift your signal in a single sacred second of awareness. The universe isn't asking you to be perfect, just coherent. And when your energy clears, your manifestations become real. Because the quantum field doesn't respond to what you pretend to be. It doesn't answer your plans, your goals, your empty affirmations, unless they resonate with your state of being. It listens to who you are, in every breath, every thought, every silent moment when no one is watching. That's the broadcast. That's the true vibration. That's what shapes reality. We were raised to believe doing creates results, but in the quantum model, being comes first. Being creates having. You don't manifest what you practice in the mirror. You manifest what you rehearse in your vibration. Because the field, it's non-local, it's intelligent. It doesn't need time. It doesn't need space. It doesn't judge. It reflects instantly, faithfully, precisely. It reflects you, the you you're embodying now. You're the painter and the canvas, the sender and the reflection. Neuroscience and quantum physics agree. When a thought is repeated, when emotion charges it, your brain wires that identity into your biology. Dr. Joe Dispenza calls this the rehearsal of the future. And when your thoughts, emotions, and presence align, the field receives a coherent signal. And coherence? That's what collapses potential into form. But here's the part most miss. The field doesn't wait for your life to change. It tunes to the identity you're living now. So if you're living from fear, the field echoes resistance. If you carry doubt, the field mirrors uncertainty. But if you touch coherence, even for a moment, the field begins to bend. You don't need to be flawless. You just need to be aware. Aware of who you're being in the quiet space between your actions. Because the field doesn't track your tasks. It tunes to your frequency. Bob Proctor once said, "Your results are an expression of your level of awareness." And awareness isn't just mental, it's vibrational. It's how much of your divine identity you're allowing to move through you. Unfiltered, unresisted, unafraid. So pause and ask, am I being the version of me who already lives the life I desire? This question is not rhetorical, it's energetic. Sit with it, feel into it. Let it show you where you're aligned and where you're not. Because sabotage doesn't always scream. Sometimes it whispers, I'm not ready yet. I'm not sure. What if I fail? And the field hears that too. Not in words, but in vibration. And it answers accordingly. Greg Braden speaks of a field that's alive, responsive, sensitive to human emotion. Not surface-level feelings, but the emotions beneath the emotion. The quiet beliefs you carry, the echoes of childhood, the inherited fears, the trauma still trembling in your nervous system. These vibrate, these are also heard. But here's your liberation. The same way unconscious energy created the old story. Conscious embodiment can write a new one. That's why presence is everything. Presence isn't passivity, it's precision. When you're fully here, you stop broadcasting yesterday's fear, tomorrow's worry, last year's disappointment. You become a clean signal. And the field? It listens now. And now is all it ever needed. Imagine yourself as a tuning fork, and we'll continue from there. You don't control the universe with your words. You move it with your presence. The moment you become conscious of what you're radiating, you reclaim the sacred brush in your hand. And that's where the creation begins. So let's get honest. What is your baseline frequency? Is it rush, doubt, fear masked as busyness? Or is it quiet certainty, steady clarity, peace? because one of those is already scripting your future. Bob Proctor once said, "The law of vibration is primary. Attraction comes second." Translation? Before anything moves in your external world, your inner world must already be singing in tune. You see, it's not about reacting to life. It's about broadcasting life from the inside out. So pause, breathe, and ask yourself, what am I vibrating right now? Because that, right now, is your command to the field. That's what the quantum begins weaving into form. And here's the most beautiful part. You can change that signal instantly, not through perfection, but through presence. The field doesn't wait for you to be flawless, it waits for you to be coherent. Clarity in the soul is louder than chaos in the mind. And when you become energetically aligned, not performative, but true, your manifestations don't trickle in, they land. The quantum doesn't respond to performance. It doesn't care about your checklists, your vision board, or your goals. Unless those things are flowing from the energy of your being. Who are you when no one is watching? That's what the field is responding to. That's what's casting your next reality. We were taught to do first, but in this unseen dimension, being comes first. Being births doing, and doing births having. You don't manifest what you recite in the mirror. You manifest what you rehearse in your vibration. The field is non-local, timeless, and alive. It doesn't reward, it reflects. It mirrors your innermost state, not your outermost performance. Science now confirms what the mystics have whispered for centuries. When thought meets emotion, when repetition meets belief, your brain rewires. Joe Dispenza calls this rehearsing the future. When your heart and mind dance in unison, the field receives a clear, uninterrupted message. That coherence is what bends timelines. Now here's what most never grasp. The field isn't waiting for your circumstances to catch up. It tunes itself to the identity you're holding. Your current life isn't random. It's the echo of your past frequency. If you've been vibrating fear, resistance follows. If you've been aligned in truth, opportunity arrives. Not because you deserve it, not because you forced it, but because that's how the field works. It's law. You don't need to master every thought. You just need to become aware of who you're being between your actions. That's the signal the universe receives. Bob Proctor reminded us, your results are a mirror of your level of awareness. But awareness isn't just mental, it's vibrational. It's how much of your true self, your divine frequency, you allow to flow without resistance. So ask yourself honestly, am I being the version of me who already lives the life I dream of? That question isn't rhetorical, it's energetic. When you stop answering it with logic and start answering it with feeling, you'll know exactly where your alignment lives and where it doesn't. Let's talk about self-sabotage. It doesn't always look like chaos. Often it hides as hesitation, a whisper, "I'm not ready." But the field hears that, not in words, in vibration. Greg Braden speaks of a universe that's alive, intelligent, and responsive, not to your voice, but to the emotional charge beneath your words, that inherited belief, that unresolved pattern, that ancient fear. They vibrate too, and the field hears them. But here's the sacred truth. The same power that once created unconsciously can now be wielded consciously. That's why presence is not weakness, it's precision. When you're fully present, you stop replaying old echoes and start becoming a clean signal. In that silence, you are heard. Now, imagine yourself as a tuning fork. If you hum at fear, the world hums back fear. If you resonate with peace, worthiness, and love, the world echoes that identity in return. Conversations shift, doors unlock, people arrive, not by luck, but by resonance. Why? Because the field always knows who you're being. You can't fool the field. You can't perform your way into alignment. You can only embody it. And that is the invitation, not to fake it, but to finally be it. So breathe again. Place your hand over your heart and ask quietly, what frequency am I rehearsing right now? Because the field is always listening. Not to your affirmations, but to the frequency beneath them. It reflects not what you want, but what you are. There comes a moment on every path of creation where you understand. Wanting is not enough. Visualizing is not enough. Scripting is not enough. Because the quantum doesn't move for longing, it moves for embodiment. And that is when the game changes, when you stop waiting and start becoming. This is where manifestation meets spiritual mastery. It's not performance, it's presence, it's not someday, it's now. So let's bring it into form. Align, rehearse, become. That's the sequence. That's the shift. That's the practice. You don't attract by forcing. You attract by tuning your signal to the version of you that already lives the reality you once thought was far away. But it was never far. It was just a frequency. And that frequency is you. If this message stirred something within you, you're not here by accident. Subscribe and let this field of truth keep unfolding with you. One breath, one shift at a time.